First race of this year was October 11th, now closed.
Oh, yes. Some kind of peace of mind. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matty B. Epis Radio Entertainment. This is episode 32 of Mental Health with Epis. Thank you for joining me, whether you're with us live now on Twitch or YouTube, or you're watching in post. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Today, I have a big announcement for all of you, and it's a bit of a personal achievement, a personal announcement in itself, but it is a big announcement nonetheless. And, well, I want to leave you guys waiting too much longer for it, but dreams do come true. And I do want to talk about it because this wasn't always necessarily the dream for me. Growing up as a little boy, born in the Bronx, raised in Queens, you know, there was a time where I believed that I would be the next big baseball star and all that, or I'd be, you know, a firefighter or something like that. I had a lot of dreams growing up. And as I grew older, and as, you know, I've formed into the human being that I am today, and you know, I've had new goals for myself. I've had new dreams, and one of those dreams has been running in the New York City Marathon. And for some reason, for whatever reason, it has eluded me over the past couple of years through my running journey, and I've applied through charities, I've applied through lottery, I've done what it is necessary outside of doing the 9+1 program through the New York Roadrunners, which requires a lot of time, money, and effort, which, you know, I wasn't necessarily opposed to, but just was unwilling to go that route. And recently, I had interviewed with a wonderful organization called the Bronx Burners, a nonprofit organization, a 501c3 nonprofit, who is responsible for raising money for the youth and raising money for college tuition and mentorship and organizing, you know, training events, you know, in regards to running and just providing so much for the Bronx community. I recently interviewed with them, and I have to say, they reached out to me a couple of weeks later, offering me a bib to the New York City Marathon. And finally, after years of trying, I will actually be towing the line come November and run in my first world major marathon. I can't begin to express how much that means to me. Jen, how you doing? You know, since I started this running journey years ago, and I remember it vividly when I first moved in to this house. I went out for a run. For whatever reason, that day I decided just get out and move, get out and do something. You needed to exercise. I felt like I was in a long standing period of inactivity in my life after years of battling depression and substance abuse. I made the decision to get out and run. Part of that decision was because of my co-host, W. Dubois, on the Epis Sports podcast. Part of that was because of him. Seeing him go out and run, he used to post all the time from the early days, his little stories, his little reels, whatever. Him going out there and running and how well he was able to do it. It was inspiring. It was motivating to see that. I grew up an athlete, I would say. I played baseball, basketball pretty much my whole life as a youth, and played baseball into college. Not at a very super competitive level, only at a Division III college level, which is still respectable, but it's not turning any heads. Again, there was a reason for that, not excuses, but reason for where I was and what I was doing at the time. Could I have excelled more? Potentially, no doubt. But nonetheless, I struggled a long time, with depression and substance abuse, and it all kind of stemmed from losing my father at a very young age. There's a bit of a downward spiral from there in itself, and not to blame my father, for him passing away, but it certainly didn't have a positive effect on my life going forward. And it took me a long time to find myself and to find where who I was and what I wanted to do. And thank you, Jen. What the hell is clicking over here on my desk? I hear noises over here. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you, Jen, coming over from YouTube. It's a bit emotional. I'm trying not to get choked up and start crying here on stream about it, but it's been a long road, and throughout that time I've had 4 beautiful children, married happily to my beautiful wife Dorothy, and somewhere along the way, I decided to challenge myself. I decided to get out there and just move and just do something that I didn't even know I was capable of. I'll never forget it when I went out for that first run, trying to run for just a mile. And even, for some, that's a lot, no doubt. And it is. It truly is. Looking back on it. And it was rough. It was not easy. I did not like it. I made a video about it, and I'll play that for you guys shortly. Just running that 1 mile was tough. Just recently, as of 2 weeks ago, I ran a 50-mile race, and sure, that was hard, no doubt. But just to think that, a couple of years ago, I barely could run a mile, and now, I'm running marathons, I'm running ultra marathons, and I have so much more. I want to go climb the Himalayas. take me to Everest if I could afford it, truthfully. My wife knows it. I would be the first one on the plane. And it's all because a couple of years ago I said yes to myself. I said, you know what, fuck it. Let's keep on pushing. Let's see where we could go. And when I had my children, that was ever more evident. You know, seeing what my son Charlie went through, being born prematurely at the age of 24 weeks, 1 pound, 9 ounces, not knowing whether or not he would live through the night. He spent 7 months, 7 long ass months in the NICU in Cohen's Children Medical Center in New Hyde Park here in Long Island. With some of the best doctors and nurses you could find in the world. Somehow he made it out alive. Somehow he was able to get past that. But it didn't come without complication. You know, I was told from the doctors that he would live a long life of complications. They even gave me an ultimatum at the time of his birth, whether or not I wanted to keep him alive. And that was something that me and my wife had to, you know, in a short period of time, come to a tough decision of, hey, you know, are we going to, you know, go through with this or not? Knowing that if we did, even if he, you know, even if it was successful, whether or not he lived through the birth, that he would live a long life filled with complications. And I mean, you know, in terms of vision impairment, you know, mobility impairment, whether, you know, it's with the lower extremities, upper extremities, who knows? Cognitive impairment. There was nothing that the doctors could promise us on, and that in itself was very scary. And you could imagine, you know, as young parents at that time, who knows, you know, what you could possibly be going through. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate you. I'm just reading your comments now. It's a lot. And again, you know, I want to paint the picture of where I'm coming from. You know, just, you know, losing my father at a very young age, the age of 13, to going through years of depression, substance abuse. You know, having, you know, my firstborn with somebody else, falling in love, falling out of love, which I didn't really even mention, you know, before, and dealing with that, only to find my true love years later, and then having 3 kids with her, and then going through this. long story short with Charlie, and I have mentioned this before on previous shows. You got to go way back to hear about it, but Charlie lived through that 7-month period in the NICU with Macombs children and was able to come home, but he still lives a lifelong life filled with lifelong complications. He's still unable to walk, and he's on the brink of turning 4 years old. The uncertainty of whether or not he will be able to walk or run is still very unclear, but not necessarily impossible. His vision is impaired as far as we understand. His hearing also impaired, but at the same time, partially intact. Charlie definitely knows what's going on. He hears me all the time. He hears my voice, and he hears our, we exchange laughter, and it is. There is definitely a lot of dialogue between us, for sure. But the reason why I get so emotional about this and because I make this big announcement is because, I'm here at the age of 34. I'm fully able, healthy, capable of doing this incredible thing. And I just want to show my kids that anything is possible. And I want to run for him because he can't. And to do this in my very own backyard, the place I've called home my whole life, to run through these 5 boroughs. It's it's truly an honor and something I'll never forget. And I haven't even done it. I'm months away from doing it. There's so much that I have to do in order to even get there. On top of like just training for it on top of everything, which is honestly it's the easy part at this point. I do have a $4,000 charity goal that I have to reach, and hopefully I surpass in a big way. But I know I'll get there. And I know no matter what, I will toe that line come November. And I will cross that finish line. Like so many people have before me. And I will represent a beautiful organization in the Bronx Burners who are doing right by the youth in our own backyard, in our community, coming primarily from the Bronx, helping kids go to college, helping support the youth, doing whatever it is necessary to help the next generation, as they did for me. When part of my application to the Bronx Burners was telling them how I was helped way back in the day. When my father had passed away, I was going, at the time, I was a freshman in high school in St. John's Preparatory in Astoria, New York, in Queens. And, sorry, let me collect myself. I am in, like, shambles right now. That was very emotional for me. Honors, Dad, what's going on, bro? Thank you for popping in here. Man, why can't I scroll back on the whole chat here? Okay, that's better. Let's see what's going on. Damn, bro. Real tears. It's definitely real tears, bro. Definitely real tears, no doubt about it. Jen, thank you. I appreciate you, Jen, for being here tonight. Coming from YouTube on or coming from Twitch, appreciate you, man. I mean, this is what this is about. This is what this platform has always been about. I come on here and I keep it real 100%, 100% of the time. You know, if you can't handle that, you don't want to be a part of that, that's cool. If it's not your type of medicine, that's all right, man. You don't have to engage. You don't have to tune in. Or if you want to troll from afar, I suppose you could do that too. I got nothing to hide. I got nothing to lose. I'm here, man. I'm living it. You should too sometime. This life is not easy. You have kids, you know, you understand that on a different level. But even if you don't have kids, you get it. The struggle is real. Just being a human in itself in 2026 is hard as fuck. To do anything is hard as fuck. I feel like doing what I've been doing in the past couple of years is extraordinary, and it plays into, you know, my mental health videos a week that I'm gonna put on for you guys in a second. But it's I'm being completely honest, you know, like it's not normal to do what I do in terms of running marathons and things like that. I'm not trying to like hype myself up, but you know, it is, you know, we make it seem normal, especially with the popularity of the endurance sport over the years. It has certainly boomed, and I'm a part of it. But it's not normal doing these types of things, and you know, I got to give myself flowers where you know, where it's due. And again, it's not just about me and what I'm capable of doing. It's more about the why and why I'm doing it. You know, one day I hope I can, you know, if Charlie's not able to, you know, run that, you know, marathon himself, I'll help him do it. I want to be able to, you know, push him along and run our own marathon. You know, when I look at others, anybody in my life, you know, again, outside of just, you know, fitness, I'm truthfully looking at you and rooting for you and hoping that, you know, you go out there and run your own marathon, and not in the quite literal sense, but you know, find something that is just as meaningful to you, is just as challenging to you, whether it's going back to school, whatever, you know, advancing in your career. I don't know, whatever it is, that makes you happy or seem fulfilled. But certainly for me, this chance to run New York City Marathon, you know, is something that I would truly never forget. And I'm completely grateful to the Bronx Burners for giving me the chance, for believing me and bringing me aboard, and supporting them in their mission. I'm forever grateful. And I just can't wait, truthfully. I mean, it's gonna, outside of my own personal goals, I think the focus on this race going forward is really just genuinely focusing on community and being more involved. I reached out to the Burners, and I've reached out to certain individuals that are associated with the Bronx Burners, and I want to find more ways in which I can get involved with the community and be more present. And I think it's only right, as they've given a chance and lended a hand to me, that I should do the same and reach out and support others and support the community and support the youth however I can. I mean, I'm already trying to raise money for them, and that's all well and good, but I want to do more. And it's just so interesting how this journey really it started out about me and just getting out and moving, and here I am years later, raising money, doing things that I never thought, like making an impact on communities. I never thought that was something that would be in the cards for me. I never thought it was possible. I never even thought that I would run a marathon. Even growing up as a kid who played baseball, basketball, and played baseball into the collegiate level, like I mentioned earlier, I never thought that, oh, I'd be running marathons and ultra marathons years later. It's just so funny how we develop and change over the course of years. And what can I say? I fell in love with it. I don't know if it's because of my traumas over the years, in which I'm more suitable for it. I've heard that theory that people who have experienced a tremendous amount of trauma, in their youth, are good endurance athletes, and I suppose that may be the case for me. I mean, I certainly look at myself as somebody who is very capable of going through anything that's mentally tough at this point. In which running a marathon or an ultra marathon is certainly that. And at some point, it's more mental than it is physical. And I would not be afraid to toe that line with with anybody else. I would certainly welcome it. I do think I've gone through enough, but surely everybody's story is different, and I can't compare myself to others. And what I do know is that I want to surround myself with other like-minded people who understand, where I've been and what I've gone through. And even if you don't, I also want you a part of the conversation, because I'm sure you have something to bring to the table anyway. I said a lot of things here in this opening monologue that lasted 36 minutes apparently, or maybe 31 minutes. Let me play 2 mental health videos of the week for you, okay? One old, one new, that I posted this week. Yes, I do recycle some content for those of you that are wondering. Okay. I like to play some of the old stuff, just in case some of the new followers haven't necessarily seen some of my stuff before. So you may have recognized this one, you may have not. But it does tie into what I'm talking about today. And the first one, primarily, is about being the main character in your own movie and why that is important. And again, I'm going to play it, I'm going to break it down for you, and then we'll get on to the other one, the new one of the week. We'll talk some more, and then we'll get out of here for the rest of the night. Unless you got more for me. If you want to talk about anything, you got anything on your mind, let me know in the comments. I'll go over it as I'm playing these videos, and we'll talk as we progress through the episode. Here we go. Funny seeing you here. Want to talk to you about romanticizing life. Some people think you shouldn't. On the other hand, I think you should. After all, we only have one life to live. You are the main character in your movie. And you should treat it as so. Why do I say this? Well, if you're unsure of where to go, what to do, maybe that's because it's not that good of a movie. And maybe it's because you're afraid to be vulnerable. Put yourself out there. Do something. Do something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Something you've been longing to try, well, do it. Whether you succeed or fail, or just don't find it as interesting, at least you put yourself out there and you did it. After all, this is it. This is all we have. Don't take it for granted. And make a good movie out of it. You might just be happy with what you find. And most importantly, keep showing up.
Hope you find some kind of peace.
Hey there. Oh, I muted myself, pro streamer right there. So again, that's an oldie right there. It's about being the main character in your own movie again, and I truly do believe that. I romanticize yourself a little bit. I do it with my own life. If you're not confident in who you are and what you're about and what you're doing, well, what the hell are you doing it for? You are the main character in your own movie. You have to look at your life that way. You are just as important as the next person. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. We look up to celebrity as if they're, just, different, beings that are not of this planet. And it's, we hold them to a higher standard. And it's truthfully, it's just not the case. Yeah, they've done some things that, have given them that recognition, but at the end of the day, they're human. You have to be the main character in your own movie. There's a certain level to it where you don't want to have too much of an ego, where you become standoffish, right? And nobody likes you. You got to be a bit humbling when it comes down to it. You have to be, all right? But there's nothing wrong with having a little confidence in yourself and moving throughout your life with purpose and confidence that you are capable. and that you are capable of doing great things. And that brings me to this week's video that I released a little late in the week, not on the Mental Monday that I usually do for you guys. But I released this, I believe, just a day ago. All right, so Tuesday. Put it out there for you. Don't deny yourself a chance to be great. Very simple. Don't deny yourself a chance to be great. Something that I did pretty much throughout my youth. Whether it because it was fear of failure or fear of succeeding, whatever it is, whatever story I told myself, whatever excuse I gave myself, or whatever bottle I drank, you know what I mean, like, or pill I took, whatever it is that kept me away from who I am today. And whatever it is that's keeping you from making that step forward, whether it be humiliation, the whole nine, you have to try. You have to put yourself out there. Otherwise, you will just deny yourself the chance to be great. By putting yourself out there, yes, you do give yourself the chance at failing, but you also give yourself the chance to succeed. And yeah, there will be failure at times. I'm sure there will. There always is when learning something new or doing something new or challenging yourself to a certain degree. Failure is a part of it. Failure is where you learn, and failure is where you grow. But failure is also where you will succeed. I speak about it a lot in these mental health shows. I speak about it a lot in the mental health weeklies. Failure is a part of life. But not giving yourself the chance to be great, what kind of life are we living at that point? Then you're just succeeding. You're giving in. You're throwing in the towel. Jen from YouTube says, no one ever knows their life's journey. Continuing to push through is truly courageous. I agree. Oh, I'm sorry, there was more to that. Oh, yeah. No, okay, I got that right. Okay. Part of my screen was getting cut off there. Continuing to push through is truly courageous. Again, it goes back to the simple point earlier where this life that we live is just not easy. In its most simplistic form. Being human is not easy on this earth, man. We are living in crazy times right now. In the political landscape of things, financially, truly. I do believe, looking back, they had it much easier. Financially, to buy a house, you can be making 30, 35 grand a year, and oh yeah, we'll get a house, no problem. I could barely afford to pay my Con Edison bill. That's just one bill. Let alone afford this house that I'm living in and everything else is going on. just being human in 2026 is hard enough. On top of doing everything else, raising kids, doing this, having a job, doing that. And then we have the audacity to try and find time to be great. And to push ourselves above and beyond and do something that is of the 1% or even less than. The gall. It truly amazes me, what humans are capable of. And then there was the other aspect of looking online and seeing what people can do and seeing what people do every day and whether or not you should be doing the same. Before I get off onto that tangent, let me play the video. Because I know before I got onto this rant, I was supposed to play the video and I did not. So here's to that. Jen and Honor over here in the chat. I'm trying to keep up. Damn, I got a freaking... Oh, there you go. I can load the chat. There you go. It's going to take love that's slowly going. Love takes a level of humanity that's gone. The internet, same internet. It's the internet. We'll talk about it in a second because I have a lot to say on that as well. All right. Let me fix myself real quick. Deny yourself the chance to be great. Let me explain. Years ago, I made the decision to get out of my house and move. If I never made that decision, I wouldn't be where I am today. It wasn't easy. I didn't like it. Nothing about me wanted to even do it. And here I am years later. I've now run 4 marathons, 3 ultra marathons, and I still have moments of doubt. Still have moments of, I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I could do it. But if I didn't make that decision to try, I would have never have allowed myself to be great. So I challenge you, get out there. Whatever it is that's stopping you from saying yes, just do it. You're gonna fail, but you will succeed, and you will get better. And this doesn't just apply to running. It's whatever you want to do in life. But you have to allow yourself to be great. If you don't give yourself the opportunity will never come. So, that being said, keep showing up, not only for yourself, but to show others that they can be great too. All right. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. There you go. You notice how I was a little out of breath right there. Ah, man. Gotta love it. It is funny to me making those videos because, here I am like trying to run like a steady pace and do my workout. But, here I am, I'm thinking I'm like top-notch content creator and I can just run and, talk and give you a motivational message. I hope it worked. I hope you like it. And by all accounts, I'm being completely honest. Don't deny yourself a chance to be great. If I didn't say yes to myself and get out there a couple of years ago and just get out of my house and try and run, I ran, walk a mile, dying by the end of it, dying. 1 mile, dying. Your mother can walk 3 miles easily, no problem. I barely could run and walk 1. And here I am years later, getting an invite to the New York City Marathon. I am truly grateful and truly excited to push myself and to represent a beautiful organization in the Bronx Burners. And help the next generation any way I could. And to run for my son, Charlie, who again may never will. To show my other sons and daughters that you are capable of doing anything you put your mind to. It's a marathon, it's not a sprint. It takes one day at a time, one step at a time, but eventually you will get there. As I cut my music here, let me make sure it's good right there. And as I abruptly cut my music, this message goes out to a certain someone. And I don't know if that certain someone is watching. Chances are you probably aren't. I don't know if you ever will. But I'm kind of tired of wondering whether or not you are. Honor, man, I love you, bro. But this one ain't about you, Pop. This race that I'll be doing in November is not just about Charlie. It's not just about the next generation, the Bronx youth that I'll be helping out and raising money for. It's not about the lost loved ones, not solely about the lost loved ones that I've unfortunately had to lay to rest over the years, whether it be my dad, whether it be my godfather, whether it be my uncle who unalived himself. It's about you, kiddo. To my oldest son out there, wherever you are, if you are listening. Just know that I love you. And I will always love you. I hope you are listening. And I wish you were a part of this journey. Each and every step of the way. Now, I just want you to know that you are capable of so many things that I was not capable of doing. The sky's the limit for you, young man. And I will make sure I do my part in showing you that that's possible. I have a lot of reasons to run. but certainly you come to mind when it's all said and done. Believe in yourself. As nobody else will. Only you can show up for yourself, my friend. Don't rely on anybody else and what they may promise you. Tomorrow is certainly never guaranteed. But it's putting the work in today that could potentially guarantee a better tomorrow. And if you don't at least try, you will deny yourself the chance to be great. And as your father, I just want to see you be great. That's always been the goal. I may have not been the perfect father over the years, and I certainly had my trials and tribulations, and had to learn and grow, and still am for that fact. But this is me trying. This is me showing up. I love you, kiddo. To everyone that joined in for me tonight, whether you're live with me on Twitch or YouTube, to everyone watching and post, I really do appreciate you. This is a super meaningful episode to me, and one that, I will truly remember. It's the big announcement. There's going to be so much that goes into this preparation leading up to this race, and so much I ask of you, the viewers, and people that contribute to this community, whether it be from Shiv Nation, whether it be from the Epis Radio Nation, the whole nine. I'll be reaching out to you guys in terms of fundraising and helping the Bronx Burners in their mission to support the next generation. And I'll have all those details out for you the whole night. But this is certainly just a historic moment for me in my life and my journey. I don't think, I don't know if you can necessarily understand, but I hope I was able to paint it in the best way possible for you. I feel like the whole running thing nowadays is kind of gotten overlooked. It's like, oh, you're just running this marathon. I don't know. I I don't know how people necessarily view it anymore. And then there's that other side to it where, like, oh, you're just, like, crazy, like, for doing it, especially when it comes to the ultra marathons, which is also kind of a funny thing. But, it's more than just running. And I've outlined a few reasons to you during this episode as to why. Yeah, it's great going out there and being fit and, staying in shape and the whole nine and, getting some miles in. At the end of the day, it's not everything. I still got, a little bit of a tummy on me. I still like to eat my burritos. It's more than that, though. It's about bringing people together. It's about supporting others in their journey. It's about showing others that they're far more capable than they give themselves credit for, and that's not only in running. It's everything else. I encourage you, man, whatever it is, man or woman, whatever you identify with, get out there and just challenge yourself. If you fail, you fail. So what? Truthfully, tomorrow's never guaranteed. Stop living like you do have tomorrow. Stop living as if you do have 9 lives. You don't. You could do everything right and then, die tomorrow in a head-on car collision on the highway and, kiss it goodbye. I was just talking with a woman today, one of my patients at work. She joked about how she did everything she could. Ate her Brussels sprouts, the whole 9. Was diligent about her health and what she ate, what she did, and how she moved. All for what? All to be 74 years old and battling cancer and, fighting for your life. It's not an excuse to go out and live like a degenerate or, drink and smoke and, eat unhealthy and all that shit, but it is a stark reminder that, tomorrow is never guaranteed. It's good to focus on fitness and, health and all that, and certainly not ignore it. Oftentimes, when it is ignored, it will catch up to you. But there are the exception, no doubt. The men in my family were not the exception. My dad ignored signs of liver failure for a long time. My godfather died of lung cancer because he smoked for, God knows how long, and they, suffered the consequences, unfortunately. But it's not always the case, If you truly lived as if you had no tomorrow, you would change a lot of things really quickly. I think, more of us need to feel that fear, that impending doom of just understanding that this life is not easy, that this life is not guaranteed, and that if you do make the wrong moves, you will be casted aside, and very quickly at that. And then there's another level of us that just fall into that complacency part of our lives where it's comfortable. Let's remain. Let's not do anything to shake things up. And where I was in for quite some time. Found my comfort zone. Was okay with it. Still not okay. At some point in my life, I realized that wasn't enough, and that I needed to do more. And that I wanted to do more. But it never would have started if I didn't say yes to myself and make that decision to go out and run one day. I wouldn't be where I am today with the podcast. This is the 32nd edition of the Epis, of Mental Health with Epis. Dubby, what's going on, my guy? Where you been? Coming from YouTube, Mr. W. Dubois, the co-host on the Epis Sports Podcast. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Never is, man. One of my favorite quotes of all time: seize the day, put no faith in tomorrow. Carpe diem, qua minimum credula posterum. Seize the day, put no faith in tomorrow. Sometimes I lose sight of that. But when I do, I remind myself of that quote. And come this November, I will live it. Come this November, I will embody that statement, and I will truly seize the moment. And run for all the things that I outlined today. My children. To support the next generation. The next generational youth. Right here in my backyard, here in the Bronx. The chance to do it, man, it's unreal. I didn't think it would come true. And it wasn't always the dream, and it's funny how that changes. It's funny how your dreams, your goals changes over the years, but I couldn't be happier about it. Truthfully. I'm just grateful for the opportunity. And I'm grateful to do it with such a wonderful organization in the Bronx Burners. So that's it. That's all I got for you guys tonight. That's my big announcement. Matty B, running in the 2026 New York City Marathon, man. My first world major. I do have a very hefty goal in mind. I'm trying to shave at least 18 minutes off my previous marathon time and reach a sub-4 marathon, so I got a lot of work to do 5 months from now. Also in the process, again, like I mentioned, raise over $4,000 in charitable donations towards the Bronx Burners and the Bronx Youth. And I'll be talking about it here on this show going forward. I'll be setting up some fundraising streams. See if we can get a little help from the community. So a lot in the works here on Epis Radio Entertainment, and just a lot from us going forward. I got so many interviews lined up in the pipeline. There's a lot going on in the next couple of months. And this, again, you guys are a big part of it as well. This community, what we're building here at Epis Radio. I love where we're going. I love where this is headed. It's been a slow growth, but it's been an appropriate growth, and one in which I truly admire and appreciate each and every one of you, each single follow, each single comment, a like, truthfully. Let's continue this journey together, man. And I can't wait to update you on my journey going forward. It's a beautiful thing. Truthfully, it is. Again, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. All right, that's all I have for you today. This concludes episode 32 of Mental Health with Epis. All right, thank you for tuning in. If you're tuning in post, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the episode, or if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, let me know in the comments section. All right, it's your boy Matty B, Epis Radio Entertainment. Tune in for other future content and all lives. Thank you for everybody joining me in the chat tonight. Honor, Jen, Dub, and everybody else that was watching behind the scenes. I appreciate you as always. It's your boy Matty B. Keep showing up.
Wake up! You can't remember where it was. Has this dream stopped?
Hope you find some kind of peace of mind. And hope you find some kind of peace of mind.
All right, everybody, all right. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful week. We'll catch you next week for another edition of Mental Health with Episode 33. Until next time, it's your boy Matty B. Keep showing up.
Peace of